Hi, I'm Sean and you're watching Shopworx. Today's episode I'm going to talk a little bit about this TN75S New Holland tractor and block heater problems I'm having. Of course, never fails till it's cold out. So, wasn't planning on videotaping this, so I kind of got started on it, and next thing you know, it turned into a project instead of a 25-minute fix. So I'll put it out there because not too many people have anything online on these things. The problem I've been having with this is the block heater is way up and in that gapping hole back in there. I think it's a 42 mil threaded block heater. It's a real bugger to get out, and I mean real bugger to get out. Had to remove the fuel filter, which you can probably see the stub there, to get in there. Tried it with a crowfoot and a 1/2 inch bar. I was bending the spot there on the crowfoot where the extension goes in. And then I thought, well, if the guy can pull the starter out, might be able to get in with a wrench. But again, alas, there's no room back in here with a wrench. So it's a pain in the butt. I'll show you the block heater and how we're going to fix this so we don't have to play around like this again next time. So if anybody's ever looking for the part number, where is it here? This is what it crosses over to for the OEM version of the block heater. And this is what it looks like going in the hole here. So it's kind of a stupid setup. Number one, where they put it, it's in a real bad spot. Number two, if you loosen the nut off here, the inside actually spins around, whereas we tried loosening the nut off, and there's a little gasket in there, and got caught up and broke off there. So yeah, you're not gaining anything by doing that. Here our problem was, burnt one of the pins off on it. Kind of interesting. We happened to be walking towards the tractor at the time, and it was like somebody was arc welding under there. So needed to be replaced, I guess. So, being that you can't change that very easy without pulling this whole bushing out of it, it's something we decided we'd modify, at least give it a try. If not, we've got this one here to put back in later. So, it's not threaded like this. When you look at it originally there, it's just a smooth shank. There's a gasket. The other piece, the other piece drops inside there with a gasket between, and the nut goes on. So, what we decided to do was take a 3/4 pipe tap and run it in there, and instead of a real expensive heater there, we're now going to use this other heater here. I guess it's for a lot of Ford applications, 460s, etc. Part numbers there if anybody's interested. And idea of this now is the guy doesn't need to get in there with an 1 7/8" socket anymore. You can just get in there with a small socket, and you're actually able to get in there. You don't need to do anything. You just slap a deep socket on and a short extension and get right on it with a flex bar, or get on it with a wrench pretty easy compared to an 1 7/8". So this big one's 1,000 watt, and the other one, if it's good enough for a 460 Ford with 400 watts, I don't see why it wouldn't work in a tractor that holds 6 liters of coolant. So it won't be an instant heat, but it'll work just fine. Save the power bill too. So usually leave it plugged in the wintertime here. So I guess the Ford one takes a 15/16. And then I'm going to put this back in with the other gasket on there and some orange Loctite, red locker, and then the other one goes right in. And get her in. We'll report how it's working, you know, whether a guy can get at it easy or not. So originally I had a 4-foot flex bar, 3/8 or 3/4 inch flex bar on there on that 1 7/8 socket, and this snipe here on top of that flex bar because it wasn't moving. So we got her. I was holding the piece there. John was putting his weight on her.
You got the thread locker?
Yeah, thread locker here.
You want a light too?
Well, you're not going to be able to film that. Is that the tip?
No, I didn't.
That's not good. It's invisible.
It lasts longer that way. I think you got to do the washer too. I think that's why it's so hard. And in between that and the other piece, or do you think it should?
I don't know. We're here. I got lots. We bought the big bottle.
I figure that we do it once, we shouldn't have to do this again.
See how much
What's that?
see how much fun this is. And behind hydraulic lines, oil lines,
Diesel lines,
fuel injector lines. Well, just get it started, I'd be set without cross-threading it. Oh, we're finger tight. We're pretty much bottomed out on that gasket. I'll see if I can get this back on there. And so much for videotaping.
I'll try it, I bet. I did what I can.
You can see how that diesel line's in the way there. Socket just fits. Just fits.
I think I should have pulled it.
You got her tight?
I can go up to here.
Well, let's give her one more. I want her. Back one more notch on her. Might not work. Okay.
Which way up now?
There we go.
I think it's got her.
Okay. So now you can see how going to that smaller block heater in there is going to make it easier to get out. And I'll take another view once I get the starter and fuel filter and everything back in. So I've got the one for the Ford there in there. It's a lot easier to get started. A little pipe dope on it, and away we go. Let's see if I can line it up. Gotta go another half a turn almost. Maybe.
So that is pretty good.
It's not too bad.
I don't mind that.
Let's see if I can tweak her a little more. Tis what it is. Putting some dielectric grease in there. It's
just grease anyway. I don't think it's a dielectric.
It's non-conductive. The idea is keep the water out. The other style had a nut and washer on them. I've seen just about as many of those burnt up as this style or
I think that should do it.
the other style. all said and done, I'll pull this up here for now, keep it out of the way for the starter. Get the starter in next, and then the fuel filter. The other thing, I guess, if you're watching this video here, is really not a great spot to boost this thing. It's a real pain in the butt to pop the hood every time. So, back many years ago, put this Anderson quick connect on here for boosting. Tied it on right here on the starter solenoid, and the ground on the screw for that. And now a guy doesn't have to open up the push bar on the front and everything else there, so for the grill guard. Well, technically, I didn't have to remove the starter going in the way we did there, but I was worried about that injection line. You can see there with the socket. I think so. And I was worried about crushing that injection line there with that socket, because it was rubbing right up against it, and I thought if a guy got on it with, 8 feet of torque on the breaker bar, it might bugger it up. But don't recommend you pull the starter if you don't have to, but I was trying to get in there with the crowfoot, so I needed the curve to bend it around, so I was trying to miss that injection line. Like I say, finally I just gave up and said, well, we're this far into it, what's another injection line? So I didn't want to pull them. If I had, they all got to come out as a set of 3 there. They're all clamped together back up and in there real well. So I'm just going to dump the fuel filter, drain the fuel filter out there, and put her back on here, and away we go. So once John gets this side panel on here, we'll have to prime the fuel system, I guess, and you can fill it with antifreeze, and hopefully we should be ready to fire it up. Make sure it don't leak. Like I say, when you only get that much antifreeze out of this thing, a 400 watt block heater should be plenty.
Only a whole 10 liters.
Was it 10?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you got 10 in that pan.
No.
No, the plastic on, I'll just give you a quick look. You got the filter in there. You can see why I yarded that out trying with the crowfoot. Just had no room to work. So, it's in there. It's accessible now. A guy can get right on it easy just with a 1/2 inch drive ratchet and a 6 inch extension and a 15/16 socket. So as long as you don't leak, we should be golden. If not, just start all over again, but is what it is. Well guys, went and ran it for about an hour and moved it over here. We'll do a little inspection. I'm going to do something with the cord still, tie wrap it. But I do not see any antifreeze. And a guy can get right at it with a socket. Well guys, hope that helps out. There's really not much on these TN75s or 75Ss. Figured I'd throw it up anyway. Maybe it'll help somebody else out. These things are getting older. I think this is 03 to 05. I can't remember. It's been a while. Be more videos on her later on as more things break. Alright. Thanks for watching, and if it helped you out, like, subscribe, and we'll see you around.